everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel. We are into May. Actually, today's May 1st, the day I'm filming this. We are into May, which means it's time to review April favorites. I can't even believe we're in May already, because that means June is coming when we declare summer, and 4th of July, and August, and heat waves, and anything that's going to make me warm, because I am so tired of being cold. I am cold all the time. In fact, every time I walk out the door, unless it's above 75 degrees, I'm like, it's freezing. I don't know what's wrong with me. The doctors say everything's fine, but I am always cold. So hello summer, you cannot get here quick enough. So today we're gonna be doing April favorites. I've got some skincare things, I've got some beauty things, and so let's get started. Otherwise this will be 3 hours long. The first thing I want to start with, let's start with makeup. I'm gonna start with the Tartelette palette. I mean, this has been out for a little while, and you know, people have reviewed it on YouTube and people typically like it. Look at those colors. I just want to say that oh, that mirror is really going to blind me. I just want to say that I consistently keep reaching for it. I mean, of course, it's a really good quality shadow palette. I love that there are the purple tones in here because I think they go really good with my light olive skin and green eyes. They're super pigmented, they're not splotchy, and I just think the color arrangement is just really good, and I just keep reaching for it. So yeah, that's been a favorite for April. I also want to talk about something that's been talked about already, but I also keep going back to it. That is the Nars Audacious lipsticks that they recently, or somewhat recently, came out with. I've got the color Anna, and it's like my holy grail purple. It's not even really purple. It's like a mauve. And then you look at it a little bit and there's the slightest hint of an undertone of purple. And it's actually what I'm wearing today, right now, because I can't get enough of it. The lipsticks are really expensive. They're about $32 or something ridiculous like that. But it has a magnet. So, right? I mean, that should be worth $32. No, but it literally is like the cross between a matte and a shiny lipstick, because it's a matte, but it's not too dry, but it's shiny, but not too slippery. So I'm not sure how they met in the middle that way, but this is also like my most favorite color, purple kind of, ever. I've always been on the lookout for a really good purple. Most of the time they look vampy and like Crayola purple, or they've got a very significant pink undertone, which I am not a fan of at all. And so this is just, everything came together for the perfect storm of lipstick. 32 bucks, Anna, most awesome, almost purple. You can't go wrong with that. I don't know. The other thing I wanted to talk about is another lipstick that I've been using. It's by MAC, and look at that, it has a shiny case. I'm like looking at it shiny. These are what they call the Sheen Supreme lipsticks, and the color of this one happens to be Supreme Style. Nobody really talks about these very much, but they're super awesome. That one happens to be a really nice nude pink. No brown in it, no peach in it. It's pink, but not like baby doll pink. They're richer than the Cream Sheens, which are my absolute favorite lipstick ever. So they're richer than that, but they're not as dry as the satin. So there's the satin line of MAC lipsticks. So they're just, again, everything seems to be coming together this month for me. I just think it's the perfect recipe for kind of a shiny lipstick where it's not too sheer, but it's not heavy and dark. I'm always afraid when I go out with friends and I'm eating and drinking that my lipstick will wear away, except around the perimeter. And it's more than a lip liner, but definitely not enough to be lipstick. And that's kind of why I like the what are they? The Sheen Supreme lipsticks from MAC. I've actually had this for a little while, and I kind of rediscovered it this last month. And so again, good swipe of color, some shine, but not so much that you're gonna have to be reapplying like every 3 seconds. So hey, that's a score. Next I wanna talk about brushes. These are so expensive. These are the It brushes for Ulta exclusively. It is the, what do they call this? The Velvet Luxe line. So I've got this powder brush. And I've got what they call like the most ultimate like foundation brush. It's just kind of a rounded foundation brush. And I got the flat one as well. Yeah, so they're kind of pricey, except the first day I went into the store to kind of look at them, I touched them, and I could not stop petting them. And so I started with one. I started with the kind of the flat top one that I could use for foundation, which I use every day. And then I was like, well, maybe for my CC creams, I might want something that's a little bit rounded so I can do a lot of swirling and like awesome blending. And then I was like, well, what am I gonna put on my pressed powder with? And so I went back and I bought the powder one, and it's so soft. Totally worth the money. I mean, really, if you're gonna use them every day, mine are dirty, but if you're gonna be using them every day, it's like my husband used to say, or still does say, about bed sheets. You sleep on them every night for hours at a time. You need to invest in really good sheets that are good quality and comfortable. So the same kind of applies for brushes. I wait until they would have those 20% off coupons where it would apply to the higher end cosmetics as well. So I think these were between $30 and $40 each, but I got them all 20% off and waited for a sale. And then when they're on sale, how do you say no? So I might get one or two more. Like, I'm very picky about brushes when they touch your face. I don't want to feel any scratch. And quite frankly, MAC brushes, like $50, and they're a little scratchy. I've heard other people mention too, like their blush brush. You go to like dab that on and it's prickly, and my skin is like angry enough as it is. I don't need anything kind of poking at it now. Don't poke the bear, right? So these are just not like that, and they are just super fabulous. And so I don't have buyer's remorse at all for them, and I'm super happy I got them. And you wanna know how I take care of them? I also got this at Ulta. This is by Japonesque. This is their 4 ounce. It comes in a larger, I think like 30 ounce bottle as well. I forget, but a larger volume size. This is a makeup brush cleaner, and the guy at Ulta actually recommended it to me when I was asking about where their brush cleaners were. I like this a lot for my liquid cosmetics. And my liquid makeup, because you just can't seem to get them clean enough. And this has something of an oil base to it where it cuts into the liquid makeup and actually, so it will actually take it off the brush in ways that I don't feel like, Dawn. I've heard people use Dawn. I've heard people use baby shampoo. I've heard them use the Philosophy cleanser. And so those are all like kind of soapy agents, and I feel like that doesn't work. It just does not cut into, which is what we're looking for, right? I mean, I use like Revlon Color Stay, for example, as one of my things. I need it to stay on my face, and guess what? It stays on my brush. And so I find that this brush cleaner, you spray it on, and then I use a paper towel and I just swirl into the paper towel until I start to see the paper towel go clean. And sometimes I will follow up with a secondary cleaning, but I just don't go in cold with a cleanser, whatever you may use. I just don't go in cold with a cleanser because I feel like, especially with the liquid makeup products, this is a good step one. And so love, also I got a 20% off when they had their coupons. More stuff. Let's do some skincare, because I recently came across, I don't know if they're new. Well, they're new to me, so they're new, right? It's the Simple line. You can't get any simpler than the Simple line. So I've got 2 products from them. I've got the Cleansing Micellar Water, and I've got the Nourishing, I love this, 24-hour day and night cream. I'll bring that up a little closer. So what do I like about these? First of all, let me talk about the Nourishing 24-hour day and night cream. What I like about this is it's thicker than a regular moisturizer, but not as thick as a night cream, and therefore you can use it day or night. Because I have very oily skin that sometimes gets very dry. What kind of moisturizer do you use for that? I use a regular moisturizer in the morning, and then my face is dry and patchy and my foundation winds up sticking to it. I use something a little bit heavier, like for like night, like a night cream, which are typically much, much thicker. And then I'm a shiny mess all day, and my makeup is sliding off my face, and I just look like, why did I even bother getting ready that day? This is thick, So I can even like turn it upside down. It's thick, but it's light. Light for a cream. So it's not just a lotion, it's actually a cream, but it's a light cream. Again, the perfect recipe of combining two kinds of products. I have been using it day and night, and I feel like it's really striking the balance between being able to extra moisturize me where I need it, but then not over moisturizing me so that I look all slimy and gross. It says kind to skin on it, and that's kind of what we want. We want to be kind to our skin, so hey. So the other thing I was using from them was the micellar water, and I was like, water? What the heck is that gonna do for me, right? So what I do is I use, actually use coconut oil to cut the liquid makeup that's on my face. Just a real thin layer of coconut oil, and I wipe it off very gently with a makeup remover wipe to kind of get the oiliness off. But what that does is it doesn't over dry me. And so in an effort to make sure that I still have or I have taken all of the makeup off, I follow with a cotton pad with this micellar water, and it gets that last bit of makeup residue off. Similar to a toner, but with a little bit more cleansing. And this is super great. I've actually used it too without cutting the makeup with the coconut oil. Sometimes I feel like when I've got heavy like all day, like Revlon Color Stay, when I've got makeup of that nature on that's really meant to stay and last, I'll use the coconut oil as like a step one. But if you're just using like BB cream or CC cream or a light foundation, this micellar water will actually just take it kind of right off. And what's great is a lot of times what I would find, I would wash my face, you get that tightness when you're done, and I hate that. I don't want my skin to feel tight. Some people like that. They think that's a sign of being clean. I think that's a sign that my skin feels too tight. So this doesn't do that. When I use this, my skin does not feel oily and grimy, but it does not feel like all of my natural oils have been stripped away. And for that reason, I super duper love this. Neither of those simple products break me out, and so that's also a plus. The other thing I want to talk about, since I'm talking about kind of removing makeup at the end of the day, I don't really see a lot of people talk about this. This is the Neutrogena Eye Makeup Remover Lotion. You get it at the drugstore. It's about $7 for about 3 ounces. I don't like to use water-based or like pourable, let's say, eye makeup removers. I like a lotion, and Olay used to make a really great eye makeup remover lotion until it got discontinued, which is the story of my life. Things I like get discontinued. And so Neutrogena they released it after Olay was discontinued, and I just love using a lotion. Again, I use a cotton pad, kind of rub into my eyes, but I use that word very loosely because I'm not rubbing my eye off. I find that like with the Lancome and with, I think it's L'Oreal, or they have a very liquidy eye makeup remover, and I feel like I'm ripping my eyelashes out, and I don't even use waterproof mascara. This just kind of breaks it down and then just kind of wipes it away, and it moisturizes your eyes too, which, hey, our eye cream could always use a second man assistant, right? I mean, because we don't want crow's feet or anything. So Neutrogena Eye Makeup Remover, super inexpensive, readily available, awesomely takes off makeup. So the last thing I want to talk about, the summer is coming, like I said, in about another month, but the sun is coming out and I fry and burn. And I used to be able to tan, and I can't any longer. I'm not sure why that happened, but I guess skin changes all the time. So I'm going to talk about sunblock. I've tried a lot of sunblocks. So my favorite sunblock is Hawaiian Tropic Sheer Touch. It is kind of sheer. This is SPF 30. It goes up to 50. They have a 15 if you care. I always use the 30. UVA, UVB, all the good stuff that a sunblock is supposed to be, but the key is that they call it sheer touch. And it blends in so quickly. Like sometimes I break out in a sweat, like when I would try to put like sunblock on, because I had to make sure I hit every crevice and corner and whatever. And didn't have like red sunburned blotchiness or whatever. So you got to hit everywhere. You got to make sure you've got enough. This spreads really nicely. It's not too thick. You are definitely, it's not like water, so you'll know where you've put it, let's say. And it's just super sheer. It has a really great smell. Just smells like sun. If you could smell the sun, that might be what this smells like. So just my favorite. I've tried a lot. And I'm also a fan of the sprays, but the sprays I worry about, like if I'm gonna be out in the sun all day, I worry that they're really doing what they need to do. I like the idea of touching and putting lotion on. And so Hawaiian Tropic Sheer Touch is just fabby. So that's it, because if I keep talking, this video will go on forever. So thank you so much for stopping by. Please subscribe if you haven't, if you'd like to hear anything else that I've got to say. I've got a lot to say, and apparently I say it very quickly. My God, I'm talking fast in this video. Anyway, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. But thank you for stopping by this video in particular. And until next time, have a good one.